How's everybody doing tonight? I had some work to do on the firmware for these so we can get these shipping to those that ordered them. So I figured, why not do a stream? Let's see. Someone's off. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Let me get my settings fixed here. There we go. All right. So what we have tonight, and I actually have, I have one already built. So those of you guys that are wondering about a build, I don't have a full build right now because Aaron put this one together for me so I can get the unified firmware supported for these machines. So what we have here is a printer called the Artillery AL-4. This is a machine. We actually bought out the rest of the remaining inventory on these, and then they came out with their Sidewinder. So that's why these are no longer on the market. We actually bought out the rest of the inventory, which we've had here for about 6 months, I want to say. And these are what we're using to build the alphas. And I've got about 15 of them that are in our shop that are being turned into our alpha machines. But I ended up having staffing issues where we couldn't actually get all these built into alphas, so I figured, you know what, let's just do some QC on them and sell them as, you know, regular machines. So this is the completely stock machine. We do have the dual Z kit coming with these machines. So we had actual parts made that we'll add a second bracket on here, so I'll switch over so I can show you the printer here. But we're going to be doing some firmware work on this tonight. Let me focus my camera here. So on this machine, oh no. Okay, so on this machine we've got a carriage that is 100% compatible with all the Creality stuff. So this is the same bolt hole pattern, same hot end style. It's a Bowden setup, and then these actually come with ball bearing fans for the fans here, meaning these are actually not going to take a crap in 30 to 60 days like the Creality ones do. The 4010 fan on here is really good. Push a lot of air, especially compared to the other ones on the market. So there's a lot I like about this machine, which is why we ended up buying them to use as the platform for our printer. So there is a cover for the knob. It's in the box. This is a machine that Aaron put together for me. And if you look, it assembles just like the Creality. So I'm wondering if I could show you guys. I'm trying to, I can just move the printer around. So we've got on here the T-bracket. So there's aluminum T-bracket here, 2 screws that go through the bottom. And then on the other side, we even have a T-bracket too. So 2 T-brackets, one for left and right, 2 screw holes on the bottom. And then here's one of my favorite features that they did with this machine. So on the other side here, you've got your single eccentric nut, which you guys are used to seeing. Little attention to detail in here. There's a marking so you know exactly where this is located. So you know what position the eccentric nut is. Now, here's the game changer. And this is how printers should be designed, which is the main reason why I reached out to them to work on us with getting these as our machines. We have 2 eccentric nuts here. 1, 2. So instead of the wheel, when you adjust it on the Crealities, where it actually skews it, okay? So when you adjust the eccentric on the Crealities, it's actually putting the wheel on an angle, okay? So imagine this is your bolt and you're adjusting it. It's going like this. On this one, it moves like this, okay? The stock extruder on these, all metal, no plastic crap, okay? All metal extruder with adjustable tension, so you can adjust this screw to do the tension. All metal on here. And this bed is over 250 watts of heat at 24 volts. This thing heats up really fast. The stock power supply is just an off-brand 500 watt, and I have had no issues with it, and I haven't had any ground issues with it. So this is all stuff we're checking here. So, but yeah. So I'll dig into the control box, and then we're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys how we're doing the firmware. Again, we've got on the bottom here, if I tilt this up, if I don't break anything. So on the bottom here, we've got insulation on the bed and then 3 eccentric nuts on the side here. Okay, we've got little thumb wheels and then springs. The Tornado round pieces that we sell for the solid bed mounts will fit this machine. And then we've got our single Z right now. So if you buy this from us on our site, these are $350. These are the same price as Prusa's i3 Mini, okay? You will get not only the printer, but also all the parts to add a second motor, the cable to splice that in to the stock cable, the brackets, the second lead screw, and a pulley with a closed belt to go between these two. Now this printer prints great without the dual Z. You guys know I like overkill, so that's why I had all this stuff made for it. You can run a 350 watt mean well in it. That's what we were going to be shipping with our alpha printers once those are completed. They have a 500 watt no name on here. The reason I like the overkill on the power supply wattage is because the stock ones that are from these Chinese companies, if it says 30 amps, I don't believe I'm going to get 30 amps out of it. However, we have one that's rated at 500 watts, which means that it should have no problem doing 350. But the Meanwell is a direct replacement for the stock power supply in here. So we've got all the cables are all sheathed. Okay, we got a barrel plug for our hot end here. And then let's show you what's inside. Oh, okay, here's my 2.5. So we're going to be going through these machines, updating all the firmware. And we're doing the firmware right now, so I can get printers shipped out tomorrow that we sold. So, and these are printers, and these are on clearance. So this is an all sales final thing. We're just clearing out this inventory because these were supposed to be alphas. But they're really good printers, especially for the price. We're literally selling these at cost. I am actually probably losing some money after shipping and some of the PayPal fees, but I just didn't want these machines sitting. And I'll show you guys another thing I like about them is the fact that you guys know the SKR 1.3 and the S Gen L. They're dropping replacements for this printer because this uses MKS Gen L. So you can easily convert this to a 32-bit machine for around $50 to $60 with some Trinamics. Yeah, and there's a MOSFET on the bed from the factory. So I have never opened this printer up. Aaron just put this together really quick for me, so I had something to do firmware on, which we're going to dive in. But I just want to show you guys what you're getting with this printer here. Yeah, I think these are better built than the CR10. I don't know why they didn't sell very well and they weren't a super popular printer, because you can't find anything about this AL-4 model online. I don't know if I just ended up buying out the remaining stock and they just switched over to the Sidewinder, but they're nice. So let's see what we got in here. Like I said, we're going to find some Chinesium up in here, or is this going to be pretty good? All right, so high-amp MOSFET. These are the ones, this was the same MOSFET as our version 1 of our high-amp MOSFET. This MOSFET's rated for over 30 amps, okay? And you can see this is 24 volts, so we're not pushing a ton of amps through here, okay? We got dual wires for positive, negative going to the bed, and it does have a removable plug right here. And I've been printing with one of these with this plug on here for over a year, okay? I use this printer that is the alpha version of this, our version, for over a year, no issues with this plug at all. So, but if you look in here, we've got a MKS Gen L. We've got socketed stepper drivers. We've got a 12864 LCD, a 70 millimeter cooling fan, and you can unbolt this and put a 32-bit board in here. So, real simple here. Big, like this power supply is a thick boy. Like, look how thick that is. And this is rated at 21 amps. And like I said, we've tested, on all the grounds we've tested on these, they actually passed. So whatever company is making this, I don't even see a brand name on here, they're actually not that bad. But you can swap this out for the 350 Meanwell we sell if you want a name brand PSU. But that's all there is to there in this machine. I liked it, and this is why I picked this machine for the base model that we start with for our printers, because it's very modular. I yanked out my fan plug, which goes right here. So let's plug that back in. Yeah. So there we go. There's the guts of it. I should check and see if they tin these wires, because it's been a while since I poked in a stock one. But then again, I'm not really concerned about the wires being tinned because the bed loads on this and these are all crimped. So do you guys follow me? So the main reason for concern on these, and I'm going to check and see if these are tinned, because I'm just curious. But I'm not really concerned about it on this because these wires are only carrying about 2 amps of load. Do you know what I mean? Because the bed is not getting, this is the signal wire for the bed. All your current for the bed is going through here. Yeah, we do. They're on our site. They're $350 US only. I don't feel like shipping these internationally because, like I said, we're already selling these at or below cost once we take all the fees into consideration. So I didn't feel like dealing with printers getting lost internationally. They do come with nerds. We will put nerds in a box. We're going to open every single one up, flash the firmware, do some preliminary checks on these, and make sure everything's in the boxes. So yeah, but we're selling them pretty damn cheap, to be completely honest. So find me, basically, like other people said, this is what, like, if the CR10 was like this, standard board, MOSFET, big old MOSFET for the heated bed, and then the whole setup with the actual eccentric nuts and the metal extruder, like that's why I picked this printer for our base model for our high-end machine, because this is really good to start and we're taking it and making it even better. So where's my screwdriver? Alright, I'm going to assume they probably tin the wires, but again, I'm not concerned about this because we're not putting any current through it. Like the Ender 3s, you're putting all that bed current through these terminals here. And if you take that bed current off the built-in MOSFET, so if you take all the current off this guy, you put it over here and these are crimped, you're only pushing about 2 amps through here. I do see though that they put 2 wires into this terminal, which I'm assuming is for, oh, it's for the fan, for the control box fan here. I'm going to assume they're tinned. Let's see. Yeah, they're tinned on here. So, do they wrap that? Oh, it's soldered. Okay. So, anyways, I just wanted to get the firmware done on these. But that's it. Well, they actually did tighten these down pretty good. Doesn't look like the hot end wires are tinned though. But they're all the way in there. So I'm not gonna go into too many details. This is the starting point. It'll have the dual Z, our tough extruder. We have a whole new fan shroud to go on this that's cools a lot better. We're doing the Trinamics on the X and Y, so we're removing these 4988s, putting in Trinamic 2208s on here, and then going through redoing all the wiring. And actually we're putting in beefier wiring, not because it needs it, just because why not? If we're already going to be in here, we're doing work, I'm just going to beef it all up. But we're still working on that machine. I ended up having to find someone else to do the printers because we've been wasting so much time trying to train people and they're just not getting it. So let's hook these back up. XP2. XP1. So, but very standard parts in here. You're not going to have... Oh, I just realized this. They realized that the cables need to be flipped. So they actually had them in here how they should be, so the LCD works. They figured out my secret to getting these 12864s to work with the MKS. The bed isn't AC. Why are these not going to convert alphas? Because I don't have the staff to convert these into alphas. That's literally why we're selling them as is, because I can't keep having these sitting around here. I'd rather sell them to everybody, and then, you know, I'm going to put a part list up of what you would need to do to buy, and it's all stuff we carry. Because the alphas are going to have auto bed leveling, filament sensor, all the bells and whistles, including RGB LEDs. So, but the whole reason these are not getting converted is because I don't have the staff, and I can't find competent staff to actually build these to my standards. Because if we're putting out a machine, like that's our machine, which is what the plan was for these, it has to be perfect, like, or damn near perfect, if you guys know what I mean. But that's why we're selling these. And like I said, they're nice printers. They're really nice printers. And they're 300 by 300 by 300 build volume. And I didn't mind going shorter than the CR10 on the build volume because I never print that high, and most people don't. Unless you're doing cosplay stuff, most people don't print that high. But let's delve into, so we'll do the firmware. I have the source code from them for the firmware somewhere, but it's an MKS. It's not rocket science. We're not dealing with proprietary boards here. So hopefully you guys can see why I liked this machine enough to buy a metric shit ton of them. I hope whoever gets these appreciates them, because they are nice printers. Like, I have the Sidewinder, and while it's decent, I think they did a solid job on this printer. They just never marketed it. So, and if any of you guys are watching that have an active order, I will be personally checking them all and shipping them out tomorrow. So I'm going to be making a run to UPS or FedEx. I don't know what ground shipping we're going to use, whatever's the cheapest, to ship them out. But, like, they're nice machines. You know, and then China being China, one of the things we have to do before we ship these is replace this fuse. This one I already replaced the fuse on because they shipped it with a 220 fuse, so if you heated it, the fuse would blow, because they, for some reason, sent me 110 models with 220 voltage fuses, so they're less amps. Yeah, we're going to get this supported with Easy AVL right now. That's what we're going to do. I just want to show you guys how quick this sucker heats up, and this is completely stock. Come on, are we not? Iron, I swear to God, if you gave me... Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. It was just thinking. Let's do control, temperature, bed. Oh, it's inverted. Well, these are going to ship with our firmware, so everything will be nice and tuned. You can, promise that. Jake, come work for me. I have no tolerance for incompetence. Let's see. This bed will hit 100. It's faster than the CR10, but it's still not AC bed fast, but I don't like AC beds. But yeah, I have our Sidewinder, the ribbon cables being a pain. It's acting up. I'm not a fan of the proprietary ribbon cables on the Sidewinder. They look nice. I like that it doesn't have the bundle of cables, but the thing is you can't fix it on your own easily. That's the problem with those. So, but they heat up pretty quick. I'm just going to get my thermal camera out because I'm curious to see how even the heating is. Let's see here. Yeah, we're almost at 40 already. 38. Where's my thermal cam? This has no ribbon cables whatsoever. Not a single one. All like I said, it's all standard parts. That's why I like it. Where's my bed? There's my bed. Look how nice that is. That's the heated bed. Heating up. Look how even that is. Oh, that's in Kelvin. People are like, oh my god, is that the sun? I think they have the wrong thermistor definition because this is reading 54 and I'm only showing 46 on the screen. But like I said, we're shipping these with our firmware, which will have all this stuff correct. But you can see we're already up there. I got our little fan here. I do have some from when I had minimal mods to it. I'd have to, you know, if you actually look on our Instagram when we were teasing we were originally calling it the artillery, and then they started using that name, and then they changed and whatever. No, ribbon cables, I'm referring to like the ones they use on the carriages, on the X and Y, or not the Y, on the X carriage, and getting up to the Z on the X. So the Sidewinder uses a vertical one and then a horizontal one. Yeah, like I said, I didn't screw around when I picked the printer to base ours on. These are really nice. The Black Widow, that's a model I haven't heard in a while. That's really old. The thermistor is underneath the insulation. So I highly doubt it's not taped down. But yeah, it's about 6 degrees off. It's probably because they have the wrong thermistor defined in Marlin. It should be number 1 on this one, if I recall correctly. I can just look at our config for Alpha because we have a configuration already for the Alpha version of this where we've added all our upgrades on. But yeah, so we're already at 70. So it's not lightning fast like an AC bed, but it's definitely quicker than a CR10 bed for sure. So I'm getting tired of holding this. But the control box is a lot quieter than Creality's because it's a 70mm fan. But you can see it's off a couple of degrees. But that's because of they didn't set the right thermistor in the firmware. Let's see what they have. Do they have? Oh, they don't have. This must be a really old version of Marlin. Manually leveling. Oh yeah, they actually have custom G-code in here, which is kind of nice. Well, let's make sure basic functions work. Aaron did do a test print on here. I'm pretty sure because you can see this looks like a test print line. It looks like he ran the nozzle a little too low there. I think this printer is going to Tyler West if he's watching because there was a sticker on it that said Tyler West. So I'm pretty sure. I know he wanted one of these. Okay. Yeah, it won't kill you if you accidentally get a short because it's DC. That's another thing why I select this. Okay. So, yeah, it says user script done on the LCD. We're already at 85 here. According to this. So this is probably at like close to 90. Ooh, yeah, that's hot. Hang on, let me see what this is actually at because let's see. Oh god, wrong one. Where's my button? Thermal can. Hang on. Where are we at? We're at 83, roughly. Oh god, let me just put it right over here. 87. Yeah, the thermistor is definitely not right. But that's really even heating on this bed. So, like I said, it's a shame these aren't being turned into alphas because the alpha I have here has literally, oh, that's a great shot right there, has literally been running for a year with no maintenance. I haven't done anything. I've changed nozzles, but I was playing with different nozzles. I haven't done anything other than use the damn thing. So let's get into the firmware here so you guys can see what's going to go in, and then we'll go through some trial and error with getting the firmware done. So, like I said, if we have these on the website right now. So, hang on. But these are a clearance item, so make sure you actually want this. We will be checking these before we ship them, so we're not going to pull a China on you. But it's an all sales final kind of deal because I need to get them out of my house. Where's my GitHub? Let me switch over here. All right. Yeah, I've moved my printer. We took it to many events like Murph and stuff, and it just works. Makers on Tap asks, if you're putting together a high-quality THR printer, why not design it yourself versus upgrading the Chinese kits? Because I can't get the parts, the base parts, the motors, and the wiring, and all this other stuff for the same price. I can get close, but it's trying to get all the parts designed and cut. Not designed, Aaron can design the parts, but getting them cut and finding a place to cut them ends up being more expensive than just finding a good starting point and going from there. Look at PrinterBot, who is no longer around. They were of the mindset of we have to do everything ourselves and have to do it here in the US, and they went belly up. And then there's Lulzbot, who was selling printers for over $5,000, and they still couldn't turn a profit because they're doing everything here in the US. So I'm going to make a copy here. I'm going to go into my firmware, or in my firmware folder. Firmware in development, and we're going to make a new folder. So this is what I do every time I make a new folder, and we're going to call this the artillery AL-4. And we're going to use this. I'm going to use this here. Daniel, hey Tim, good evening. Just want to say I got my upgraded cables today for my Ender 3 Pro, and they're much beefier than stock. No issue so far. Yeah, they are a hell of a lot beefier. I'm glad you're enjoying them. So, all right, let's get into this. So I'm going to need to be in a couple of files here. So I'm going to need to be in my configuration H and my backend files. So let's go ahead and get these loaded. And I'm going to actually take the baseline from the EZ300 because it's very similar. It's the same machine at the core machine. So I'll be able to take this. I'm going to have to do quite a few modifications to this config, but they're very similar. So I'm going to need to change our driver type because stock these are 4988s. Which are your tried and true settings here. So you can see I have all these options here. This is all pre-set up. So obviously I don't want all this stuff enabled for our baseline machine because not everybody's going to be doing that. So you can see our baud rate is 250K. Oh, and here's a nice thing. So, there's so many little things about this printer. It's been so long since I actually sat down and played with one, like actually dug in. So they use the 16-tooth pulleys on the X and Y. So you actually have 100 steps per millimeter on your X and Y instead of 80. So you actually have more resolution on your X and Y, a little bit. We're talking 20 more steps per millimeter than your Creality machines. And the belt alignment is actually correct on this. It actually is in the extrusion instead of being pulled down. So, like I said, little things here. So, I believe my stock E-steps on this are 95. So let me plug that in and see what they have it set. Alright. Thermal camera, you are no longer needed. And let's see what they set the factory defaults to. And we can do that by loading up Pronterface. Let me use Pronterface tonight instead of Simplify 3D. So I'm going to go ahead, I think COM99, I'm assuming it's 250K. Let's see. I think it's COM99. Maybe it's 115, 200. We run them at 250K. The stock firmware on these might be 115, 200, unless I have the wrong COM port, which is entirely possible. Yeah, it's CH340. That's what are we using here? COM 2. What is up with my taskbar? I've got a lot of programs, man. Pronterface just is like, nope, we're just eating crap. All right. Oh, COM99 is a virtual COM port. Let's see. Did they use 250K? They did. Okay, so they're using 100 for the stock E-steps. But I know better than they do, and I'm pretty sure it's 95 like the other ones. And the funny thing is they have the you might not be able to read this, but X is set to 100.16 and 100.32 steps per millimeter, and Z is at 403.23. It shouldn't be that. It should be 100, 100, 400, because the thing is, you're just not. It's your steps per millimeter determined by your motor's step angle, so 1.8 on these. Your stepping rate on your driver, so 1/16, and then the pulley and the belt for your X and Y, and then in the other case of the Z, your pitch of the rod. So I'm not going to be doing a video comparing slicers because I literally only use Simplify 3D. Everything else can go out the window. I don't use anything else other than S3D. So I definitely don't need to invert on here. False. And I think this should be it. I just need to change. Wait, was I modifying the wrong printer? What is going on here? Did I lose my spot? Oh, I should probably change this, so alright. So I'm going to change this to AL-4. And then we're going to upload this and see how it works. So this is AR, so this is going to go right here. And let's get started. I'm going to start actually with the CR10S because this is very similar to this. We're just going to use this. I'm going to go here. This is 2560, and so what I want to do is take this value and put it here and get rid of this. We don't need this or this. And this will support the EasyOut V2, so I can put this in here and leave that. All these will work with this printer here. And this, oh, this board is dual extrusion ready too, just so you guys know. So I should actually add those settings. You know, let's get the basic stuff working because you can do dual extrusion on this printer out of the box. Well, I shouldn't say out of the box. You could add in the 5th driver the board will run 2 extruders and 2 hot ends. So that's already set. The only thing I need to do is see what thermistors I'm going to end up with. What is the... thermistor, okay. Oh, man. Okay, so we should end up with 1 on here. And then 1 on... Is it 5? No, I'm pretty sure it's 1. TH3D bed. Yeah, here, it's 1. So enabled easy 300, so I'll just add this in. Enabled artillery. Because that's the thermistor uses number 1. That's why their temps are off. They're probably using 5. What's up, Jim? So I totally forgot about dual extruding. It's like one of these machines that, like I said, I haven't sat down. I haven't sat down and like really dug into this machine in a little while, but I remember it's all the little things that they did right on here and all the part selection is why I chose them for our printer. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave these for later. I can always add in dual extrusion support later. So let's get this compiling and see what works and what doesn't work. I also think I'm going to move this. I'm going to move the TH3D one. Sorry, my ego got in the way and I put our printer list at the very top, our printer that we can't ship because I can't find competent technicians. So, yeah. So it's going to go in alphabetical order just like all the other printers. Oh, I have this nice little note here. I'm going to put that at the top for the AL-4. Where's AL-4? AL-4, where are you? Here you are. There we go. All right. So, we'll have ABL on this too, for those of you that are asking. Of course we will. Why would I sell a printer that doesn't have support for our ABL kit? That would be dumb. All right, let's see if it's going to go. Do you think I got the config right on the first go, or I'm going to have to go back and change some things? Post your thoughts in the chat right now. Let's see. Am I gonna slam dunk this, or am I gonna have to change some stuff? I'm not sure what you mean, Alteracious. Is there something wrong with my website? Hey, look at that. We didn't throw any compile errors, so that's good. ArmCam. Marlin. Well, hang on. Let's make sure I see that logo. Come on. Oh, yeah, they're powered over USB. Hey, there we go. Logo. Oh, that's another thing. I need to increment our version number. So this should be 17. All right, let's see. Let's check. So look at this. Moves the right direction. Control. Temperature. Like I said, these come with a knob. You don't just get a little thing sticking out here. Oh, it's the right direction. Look at that. Well, this is a stock PTFE, so I'm gonna go up to 220. It's showing 2 fan speeds. Oh, because it's an MKS board. By default, the second hot end output in Marlin is set to that other fan, but this should control our layer fan. So let's see. Make sure everything's heating correctly. Layer fan's on and moving, so that's working. Hot end's heating, bed's heating. So let's jog our axes. Let's see. Prepare, move axes. Now I think X and Y might need to be inverted because I think the 2208s require inversion. Yep. So X I need to invert. I forgot about that. I could have changed that. Yeah. It's just vibrating because it's going the wrong way. Z should move the correct direction because we use the 4098s. There we go. Alright, so let me fix that. Let me switch back over and fix that config here. Alright, so I'm going to go back into the back end here. Okay, let me see here. No, I totally get if you want stuff to be confidential. Not a problem. I'll take a look at it in a sec here when I switch off of the screen share. Let me just search AL-4. So, let me just make a note here so I need to look up that ticket. People can't really do much with your ticket number. Other than, I don't know, they really can't do much. You still need to log in for our site. Alright, so let's go and upload that. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over here and we're going to take a look at Alteratious's ticket to see what's going on. Oh god. We're uploading. Oh. What's your I see your stuff here. I think what happened was we've had where like a saved cart shows up before. Yeah, I've seen that happen before. It's a WooCommerce thing. Or not WooCommerce, it's a WordPress with the caching. I need to go and reset the states for the carts. It's probably because they just did an update on WooCommerce. Where is, let me see here. Let me check here. I do have some test accounts too, so I can check what's going on. Customer. Let me see here. Let me see if I can pull up that other information here. I am going to just purge the where is it? Status, I think it's under. Alright, so I'm pretty confident in my config. I'm just going to go ahead and auto home. There we go. Let me check the extruder. Oh, I'll have to heat it. So main, prepare, let's preheat. Preheat ABS, why not? Let's let that go. And I'm gonna see what's going on with my damn WooCommerce site. I'm probably switching over to Shopify, to be completely honest with you guys, but it's really hard for me to like leave WooCommerce because it's so powerful. It's just a pain in the ass sometimes. Alright, let me clear the customer sessions here. Deleted all active sessions. 3,400 carts cleared. Ugh. well, and we'll go ahead and update the database here. And I'm going to see if I can replicate that issue you sent in too. I have seen it where a cart pulls in as well. I'm going to actually see if that even comes up with any information here. MPXPLA, let's see. Testing, 1, 2, 3. What's my login account? What the hell is my test login? Yeah, that's as high as you want to go with the stock tubing. Let me see if that pulls up any hits here. No. Well, that's literally it for the firmware. We're done. Oh yeah, I was gonna test the extruder. I think it's the last thing I need to verify here. Yep, we're turning the right way. I'll put her. You want me to fire up a benchy here? He's on back order? Oh, wait. I thought we were out of stock on the easy boards. Unless Aaron found more inventory and restocked them. I'm wondering if Aaron found more inventory and restocked them. What are you talking about? Please don't, Tim. You don't want me to print a benchy? I'm confused. Hang on. My LCD from you is inverted. Can I correct it like you just did? On what board is the thing? Yeah, temps are pretty good on these boards too. Now, I have seen guys where they put a capacitor on the 5-volt, but they're pretty solid. It's within 1 degree. So, all right. Well, screw it. I don't know what else to do on here. I don't know why I did a stream on this. I had to get the firmware done anyways, so it was more motivation for me to actually get the damn thing done. And not pussyfoot around. Definitely not putting carbon fiber through this, though. That would be a bad idea. Because that will tear up that brass nozzle. The heck? Dynamic caching. Did you do counts, Aaron? Because I stocked the ones we got back from Murph. Because I stocked the ones when I got back from Murph. I swear to God, if you restocked them and didn't take that into and didn't talk to me, then we're gonna have some unhappy customers because we don't have them. If that's the case. Like, did you find more that were in another box? Okay, I'll have to talk to you because I want to make sure that that's accurate because I want to. Okay, if you say so, because I stocked I pulled the 15 and put those on the site when we got back and you weren't here. Find the hole. There we go. Oh, I pulled it out. There we go. We're back. Oh, this bed is hot. All right, let me feed that in. I'm going to do it from Prowler. Oh, no, I'm going to do it from S3D. I'm going to make it poop out some filament. Oh man, S3D does not like being scaled. Not even a little bit. It is not happy. All right, so you see this right here? EEPROM version mismatch. M502, M500. That's going to default it and then load the default settings. So do a G28. There we go. I'm going to preheat this to 220 and 60. And I guess I can use my alpha profile, to be completely honest. I'll be nice, I'll even post the print profiles to the site. We don't need 30% infill for a benchy. Although this is going to do a G29. I think it just ignores G29. Let's see. G28, G29. Let's see what G29 does when we don't have a probe. Nothing. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Well, that's good to know. Let's see. I can't read all the way up there. Product files, print farm tests, benchy. Show me the benchy. There we go. Ah. Make sure supports aren't on. They are. Prepare to print. Bam. Look at that. Beautiful little boat. And I'm going to print over USB like a peasant. So it's preheating now. All right. Oh man, I didn't level the bed, but I think Aaron already did. So, are we gonna be able to print? Oh, I do have baby stepping because this is our firmware. Just no ABL. These beds are actually really flat because this is actually glass on top of aluminum, which is really nice. I'm not a fan of these like ultra base styles because they work sometimes, but not all the time. I just stepped down a little bit. There we go. Baby step Z, guys. It's game changer. Let's see if I can get my camera in here. Give it the full Monty. Come on. Get in there, bud. That's a little too close. So let's chat while I'm running through a test print. I like to actually test our firmware to make sure everything works correctly before I send it out to everybody. Okay, so that's good to know. So this did stick pretty well. Yeah, level on the skirt, I know. Or adjust. I just baby step Z because it looked like it was leveled, just the initial height was off. I appreciate your videos, but I run auto bed leveling. This is just a stock printer for testing. So these mounts will work. The CR10 OEM mount works on this because it's the same style carriage. So Creality compatible carriage would be the marketing term, meaning all the Creality mods that already exist for the CR10s will work on this machine, which I thought was important. That's just my vape. It's not the printer on fire. It's not an ANET. So, but this is literally a machine we took out of the box and threw together in like 30 minutes. So, the only thing I don't like about these shrouds is that you can't really get in there. So, yeah, she's a printing. And like I said, 95 for the extrusion. For this extruder should be fine. So, but even though we're selling these really cheap, literally not making anything on them, we're still going to check all of them. So, and if you want it to be quieter, you can pick up the 2208 drivers that we sell and literally swap them out, and it will be as quiet as a printer with an easy board or Creality silent board. The fans are quieter than the Crealities, but the drivers are 4988, so they're gonna make the same noise as the stock Creality motors. But that's the beauty of having the Gen L board in here is you can replace the drivers. Literally just swap them out. I don't know if the 3D Fuse XY rails would work on these. The X brackets, so like these brackets here that hold the gantry, they're almost identical to the Crealities. So like I don't understand why this machine like wasn't more popular, to be completely honest. Like I know we bought a ton of them. I don't know if they just were like, we're building the Sidewinder and then stopped production on these and we got the last of them. Eventually we're going to do the Sidewinder X1, but we need to get the what's the word I'm looking for? Aaron, don't order a set. Stop wasting money on stuff you don't need. Where was I going with this before Aaron decided to say something dumb? God, what was I going to say? We're talking about the drivers. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. That's what happened. Oh, the printers. So, like, yeah, I don't understand why these weren't, like, more popular, because the price was good on them. I think retail on them was, like, $3.99. But, oh, the Sidewinder. The Sidewinder. We gotta get rid of the touchscreen, is what comes down to it. Because the Sidewinder has the MKS Gen L board. So the Sidewinder is the same board that this does, except they decided to put the crappy touchscreen on there. Does the ABL BL Touch and Filament run on both fit in the program memory? I don't know, because I don't use BL Touch, and we don't have... in our firmware, we only have either the BL Touch or the filament sensor support, because there's not usually extra pins for more than 2 things on the 1284. So you usually have the buzzer pin to use, and that's it. So if you use the buzzer pin for your BL Touch, you can't use it for the filament sensor. Now, there's some boards that have a pin 29, but you have to solder onto it. So we didn't add that in because I don't want to be encouraging people to take soldering irons to their boards that have no business taking soldering irons to their boards. So, but if you run our Easy ABL with our Easy Out adapter board, you can run a filament sensor and ABL on a 1284 with no issues. Yeah, Neres is correct. So yeah, it's a frequency shift. So, do you have docks for the Easy ABL on this board? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm adding it to the firmware right now, so I'm going to push these changes up later tonight, and this printer will then be supported, and we'll be able to then get these shipped with our firmware preloaded. So here's a preview here of what it's doing. I'll push the feed rate up a little bit. Sierra Mini TH3D logo when I firmly enable Easy ABL. There's no logo. You didn't do anything wrong. It's a program limitation of the CPU. You can't have both, unfortunately. We do not have like machine-specific installations for the ABL because it's a universal kit that works on all the printers we support. But on every machine, the Easy ABL is replacing this guy. This unplugs from here. On this machine anyways, this unplugs from here and plugs into our ABL control board. You update the firmware, you mount your sensor, you calibrate the sensor. It's all in our installation documents. So for us to do a video on every single little machine would be extremely time consuming, and just because of the amount of machines that come out that we add support to it. Let me see here. Does your Easy Out Easy ABL on the board? No, it does not mux it. Our Easy ABL does not need anything other than the 2 wires going to the end stop because it acts like an end stop switch. It does not require control like the BL touches. It's a much simpler design and implementation. So it needs less work from your printer's control board than the BL touch does, because you have to have the servo pin on the BL touch to deploy and store your probe. The ABL is a contactless sensor. Ron, can you send me that link? I'm on Discord right now if anybody wants to jump in and PM me. Let me go into the live stream chat. So if you want to send any links or anything so YouTube doesn't flag you, I'm jumping into the live stream channel right here. So, I mean, this is pretty much it. We're printing. It's looking good. I'm curious about that. So, basically, I mean, if you guys want to talk about, well, let's do this. Would you guys want to have, like, a little chat live stream after this because I don't want to muddy up this video with a bunch of nonsensical stuff. I'm trying to get better about doing that. Let's go faster. We're at 175% feed rate. I am printing over USB though, so hopefully I don't bottleneck. Yeah, it's exactly like your Ender 3. So if you already have experience with that, it's the same exact process. And this has a bootloader on it. This printer has a bootloader. You do not, as you guys saw, I literally plugged in, updated the firmware. There's no bootloader flashing needed because this has the bootloader. There's so many things as I'm sitting here talking about this that I realize I didn't put in any of the marketing materials, and I really should have in the marketing materials if I'm trying to sell these things. There you go. Figure put on some music while we're just sitting here watching this. So yeah, Lulzbot, if you guys don't know, laid off over 90% of their workforce. I'm thinking maybe I should wrap this up and then just literally start another stream just as like a little chat stream. Because I can still have this printing and starting to stream. Night, Jim. Oh, hey, you guys are on live stream now. Let me see. Hang on, let me stop the music. Alright. You guys want to talk? See if it comes through on stream?
Hello.
Let's...
Anyone know if the Sidewinder... One sec. Get back.
Oh, hang on. Output volume. You might want to be on headphones.
I am on headphones.
Oh, well, how about this, everybody? I'm gonna go offline for about 15 minutes here, and I'm gonna start a new stream, and we can just have kind of a hangout stream while letting this go. This thing's cooking though. In terms of, it's actually, I have the feed rate at 175. And it's actually still pushing the plastic out with no problem. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to wrap this stream up. Again, if you guys want to purchase one of these machines, we are clearing these out. These are on clearance, so it's all sales are final. So if you really want one of these, they're really good machines. As I showed you guys, really good part selection. You can upgrade it to Trinamics. We sell the Trinamics in the shop for about, I think they're 12 bucks a piece. So for $24, you can swap out your X and Y and make this quiet. If you want to go 32-bit on here, because this is an MKS Gen L, the SKR13 and the MKS S Gen L will fit in this printer. And by fit, I mean literally unbolt this board and put it in, and then set your Marlin firmware up. So, and in terms of modifications, our tough extruder fits directly on the stock extruder mounting location, no adapters needed. And all of the Creality CR10 Ender 3 hot end mounts work with this, so it's a very nice platform. Again, that's why we selected it for our machine, and the only reason we haven't come to market with our own machine is because I haven't had people to actually build these up to our standards. So I figured it'd be best to just sell these right now, and hopefully if I can get more of them made later, I find someone in time before we sell off all these, then, you know, we'll go ahead and have our alphas. But I'd love to see what you guys can do with these. I'm also going to release the STL files for the EZ300 Alpha fan shroud that we designed for our version of this machine with all the upgrades on it. So if you guys want to have a little piece of our attempt to make our own printer, on here that cools really well versus your stock shroud, and that'll also work on a CR10, and it's got a mount for the Easy NBL on there. So with that being said, if you want to pick one of these up, go to th3dstudio.com and click shop, and then you can just search artillery in the search, or if you scroll down, it's on the recently added products. So there's like a new product thing at the bottom that shows you all the new products, and these are $349.99, only shipping to the US, and this will ship via UPS, ground, or FedEx, whatever is more economical for us. So everybody, I hope you had a good time, and as always, happy printing.